Hey everyone, we're at French Press Cafe. French Press Cafe.
French Press Coffee House, but it's fine, baby.
And we'll be doing the Bible in 52 weeks, a year-long Bible study, but we're going to do it one day at a time.
Right.
Or 1 week at a time. Since there's 52 weeks in a year.
Right.
Okay, week 1. There's nothing too hard for God. Daily readings. Day 1 is Genesis chapter 1 through 4. You want to do that or wait until I finish this?
We're gonna, that would be a while to read all of that on camera, but
I'll try doing it.
we could alternate.
Yeah, you do 2 chapters, I do 2 chapters.
Alright. So chapter 1. Never mind my irritation. It's my phone has been blowing up all day, and it's all kind of stuff that I don't really need to do. It's disturbing, if anything. So, you want me to do 1 through 4, right?
Yeah, 1 through 4. You do 2
or
chapters.
1 through 2, you do 2 chapters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is
Genesis.
Wow. Those who know me enough know why I get upset over that, but Genesis chapter 1, starting with verse 1. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Thinking of a certain song we sang at our old church. The Spirit was moving over the waters. Spirit come move over us. That's where they got inspired. Okay. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth. And the gathering together of the waters called he seas, and God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. The evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years." Wow, that's awesome. God invented that, not man. I lost my place. Alright, verse 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." And God created great whales, every living creature that movement, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. A fowl, F-O-W-L, that's any kind of bird, in case you didn't know, baby. Or did you know that? You knew that? Okay, I was just making sure. And God blessed him, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the 5th day. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let us, and when they say God, see, this proves the Trinity, verse 26, where it says, And God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. Okay, so there might have been pre-Adamite people, according to verse 27. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And in this case, the word meat means food, not like carnal meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth on the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw everything he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day. Chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day, and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which he created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created. And in the day of the Lord made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Verse 8. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted, and it became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That is which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good, and the bdellium and onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is that compass the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that which it goes toward east of Assyria. And the 4th river is the Euphrates, which the Euphrates River still exists. It goes around Iraq and Iran, actually. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the garden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but the tree of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day thou eatest, therefore thou shalt surely die. And the Lord God said, It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. And out of the ground of the Lord formed every beast of the field, and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to all fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. And the Lord God caused Adam a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh. Ribs, yeah, that's what I meant to say. I'm sorry, baby.
That's okay.
And closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God hath taken from the man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. You want to do chapters 3 and 4, baby?
Sure. Chapter 3. The Temptation of Eve. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh God had made. And he said unto the woman, Ye hath God said, Ye should not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may not eat of the tree, fruit of the trees of the. We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither ye shall touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, that your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord Yahweh God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord Yahweh God amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? Or where are you?
Our brother Jonas, who was the pastor at the Church of Abundant Life, and sadly he passed, but he preached a real good sermon on that one time. It was beautiful.
And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and hid myself. He said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shall thou go, and thus shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee
Enmity
between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise
And
his
if I may,
heel.
and that was the first prophecy of Christ coming, right there. That was the first foretelling of Christ coming.
unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows and thy consumption. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, in sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. The thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herbs of the field. In the sweat of thy face shall thy bread, until thou return unto the ground, for out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and dust thou shalt return. And Adam called his wife named Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skin and clothe them. And the Lord God said, behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now
Backs up the Trinity teaching again.
Put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Therefore the Lord Yahweh God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims.
That's a type of angel.
And a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the life of tree. Chapter 4. The first sons of Adam and Eve. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bore his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord Yahweh. And Abel, he also brought fruit of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord has respected unto Abel and his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he did not respect. And Cain was very worth in his constancy fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou worth, and is why thy countenance fallen?
Let me see the word, baby. Show me. Countenance
fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou worth, and why is thy
wrath is the word actually.
wrath?
I think that's
And why is
that's a derivative of the word wrath, which means anger.
Art thou
why art thou angry, and why thy countenance fallen? In other words, to say that.
If thou doest well, doest well, thou shalt not be accepted. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. The first murder history of Cain. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and killed him. And the Lord said to Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he says, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's breath from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out of this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore whoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken unto him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him shall kill him. And Cain went out forth from the presence of the Lord, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, his sister,
I assume.
probably,
Unless it was one of the pre-Adamite people.
and she conceived and bare Enoch.
Let me see.
Enoch.
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 There's actually the Book of Enoch, which is an extra biblical source, but the Book of Enoch is quoted in other books of the Bible. And Enoch was actually a righteous man.
And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Arad, and Arad begat Megal.
Let me see the word. See if I can pronounce it. Let me see.
And unto Enoch was born
Mehujael begot Methuselah, and Methuselah begat Lamech, and Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The one was Ada, and the other was Zillah, and Ada bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his 2 wives, Ada and Zillah, Hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said, She hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, who Cain slew. And to Seth, to him there was born a son. He called his name Enos. And men began to call upon the name of the Lord. Do we do chapter 5 as well, or just chapter 4?
Chapter 4.
All right.
And tomorrow we'll be doing chapters 5 through 8.
All right. Is there any questions to answer or anything?
Yeah, let me read.
All right, read that, baby.
My purpose is to encourage the encourager today. While you focus on the needs of those around you, remember that God has not forgotten about you. He hears your prayers and remembers your heart's desires and struggles. He posed a question to Abraham in Genesis 18:14. Is anything too hard for the Lord? And the answer is that there is absolutely nothing too hard for God. Ephesians 3 verse 20 says that God is able to do exceptionally abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us.
That reminded me of another contemporary Christian song we sang at our former church. I don't know the name of it, but I'm just thinking of some lyrics. I'm sorry, baby.
It's okay. There is nothing you could think of or ask that God cannot do. In the story of Sarah and Abraham, God told Abraham that he would make him a great nation, and from him all the families of the earth would be blessed. Genesis 2, verses 2 through 3. This promise probably doesn't make sense to Abraham at the time because he and Sarah had no children. And, well, into their senior years, they thought they were too old. In chapter 16, Sarah still hadn't had a child yet, so she took matters into her own hands and decided that Abraham should sleep with her maid, Hagar. Abraham and Hagar had Hagar.
I'm sorry.
What did I say?
Hagar, I'm just trying to help you.
had a son named Ishmael.
Ishmael, the father of the Arab race, actually.
God allowed it, but He did not ordain it. You must be mindful that when it comes to the promises of God, you shouldn't take matters into your own hands.
Thank the Lord, I found it.
In chapter 18, God made Abraham and Sarah a specific promise, one that didn't make sense. The odds were against them because of their age. Abraham was 100 and Sarah was 90 years old. By this time, it had been 13 years since God made His original promise in chapter 12, and they had seen no signs of their earlier promise. What do you do when you waited so long and somebody is telling you that the impossible is still possible? What do you do when the promise just doesn't make sense? You've got to decide in your heart not to give to doubt. I know that's easier said than done. I had to learn the hard way that doubt hinders the progress of your promise, paralyzes you, and keeps you stagnant. It makes you want to take control rather than trust God with your life. However, when you replace doubt with fear, doubt with faith, you give God something to work with. It's easier to be skeptical when the odds are against you, but I encourage you to trust God to keep His word. When you replace doubt with faith, trust that God will do His part and release the blessing.
Sorry, I'm just checking my blood sugar.
You have to believe that there is absolutely nothing too hard for God to do. Okay, points to ponder. When you were faced with an impossibility, how did you handle it? After this lesson, how did you handle those impossibilities going forward? What has this lesson taught you about your faith?
Your blood glucose reading is 189 milligrams per deciliter.
I need to knock that down. I beg pardon, everybody.
It's 4:47.
I got 448 on my meter.
Oh, 4:48.
That's all right, baby.
What areas have you discovered where you are strong in faith? What areas have you discovered where your faith needs to be strengthened? Question 4. After this lesson, what are the possibilities that you will commit to prayer? Actions for the week. 1. Decide in your heart to think and speak positivity, replacing negative words with positive ones. 2. Make a commitment to yourself to intentionally respond to your doubts with declarations of faith. At the end of the week, note how speaking positively into your life has begun to have a good impact on your outlook and ability to trust God. Tomorrow we'll be reading Genesis chapters 5 to 8. Let me double check. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be reading Genesis chapters 5 through 8. I hope you all have a good day.